Just because different artists and different bands want to work together does not mean that the product is automatically good or even listenable. Whether it was a good idea on paper that didn't pan out or a terrible idea from the beginning that leads to a song sounding like a nightmare, rock and metal have had some cringe collaborations. A few weeks ago, I talked about good collaborations. Years ago, I talked about the top 10 worst collaborations in rock. This video is a follow-up to that, where I talk about 10 more cringe collaborations in heavy music. You can find a link to both of the previous videos in this video description. This video is not a top 10, no ranking, just a list of questionable and flat out awful collabs that should not have happened.
This video is sponsored by Marvel Strike Force. Do you love X-Men? I know I do. In Marvel Strike Force, you can gather the X-Men 97 team, including Wolverine, Cyclops, Gambit, power them up, and fight evil groups like the Kree and Hydra better than the Avengers ever could. That's right, I'm Team X-Men, and Magneto was right. Joking aside, this free game from Marvel allows you to recruit over 250 plus Marvel superheroes and villains, level them up, and play them in PvP modes, real-time arena against other real players, and join your friends in massive raids. Once you hit level 7, everything opens up with the possibilities of all you can do. Use the specific link in the video description and get to forming your Marvel team to save the world, including Deadpool. Don't act like you don't want Deadpool on your team, you know you do. If you download the game using the specific rocked link and reach level 7, you are helping the channel greatly and doing it for free. Everyone wins. Play Marvel Strike Force now. Awesome game, and it's free.
Thank you for checking this video out. This is just a YouTube video. It's not meant to be taken that serious. You know how these videos work. Let's get to it. There's a problem when you have guest features in your song and both guests are significantly more talented than the band responsible for the song. It's another problem when the song is a chaotic mess with the disguise of being heavy for the sake of presentation. Problems, however, are what Falling in Reverse is all about. Ronald, the recent collaboration from Falling in Reverse, Tech Nine, and Alex Terrible of Slaughter to Prevail is not the worst Falling in Reverse song or collaboration. In fact, both Alex Terrible and Tech Nine are fine. They just prove the point at how bad Ronald the Clown is. He sounds even worse when compared to good artists around him. Radke renegated himself, and he did it on a terribly written song. It's just a chaotic mess with no structure. Radke also trying to sound sinister one moment and then singing about how he's hanging on like a parasite doesn't make him sound as intimidating as he thinks. More like he's just a leech off of a music scene he's tricked into thinking that he's something special. I'm partly convinced this song was also just made for Ronald to look cool in a flashy music video. A music video where he still looks worse than everyone else. The song wasn't even saved with two good performers helping with some heavy lifting while the clown is spiraling out of control. Hope that Mugshot album does well and all the teenagers he tricks into liking him actually go buy it. So when I asked for bad collab suggestions on the YouTube community tab, someone said that Avril Lavigne collaborated with Marilyn Manson on a song in 2013. I didn't believe it and thought it was a troll comment. For the first time in my life, I wish someone was actually trolling and not being serious because the song Bad Girl actually exists. The reason I put the word cringe in the video title is completely appropriate regarding this awful song. Me going, ew, for a minute solid would also be appropriate. The pop punk song, yes, it's categorized as that, is Avril Lavigne singing about being bad with help from Marilyn Manson. Ew. As Marilyn Manson opens the track telling Avril to put her bad girl head on his lap, Avril sings with some energy about demanding to be choked and how bad she is. Everything I just said is accurate. Not only is the music and singing awful, but it sounds like many other Avril songs, but with risque lyrics and Marilyn Manson being a creep. Put aside all the things we know about Manson now in 2024 that we did not know in 2013. And even by 2013 standards, this is cringe and gross and really awkward to think of Avril like that. Also, this song was co-written by her former fiance, Chad Kroeger of Nickelback. Her former fiance helped write this song with her. So, the deeper I dig on this track, the worse it gets. NOFX don't have a stellar track record over the past decade. Harsh to say, but Fat Mike hasn't exactly wowed the fans with a lot of his recent NOFX material. So in comes a concept song about an older song called Linoleum and how so many people covered it, and this is just looking back at that, but with Avenged Sevenfold also playing. Did you keep up with that? Let me try to explain better. Avenged Sevenfold came in and played the new NOFX song Linoleum, addressing all the people that have covered the old NOFX song Linoleum over the years, and in the song, Fat Mike even says linoleum never meant that much to him. So along with that, the song also is pretty lame. This is as if Fat Mike is loving the smell of his own farts while Avenged Sevenfold just looks and sounds completely bored while playing. The vocals are atrocious and the entire song is played as fast as possible at points, which I'm convinced was just to get the dumb joke over with, or because Avenged Sevenfold charged by the hour. When I hear people say they did not like the latest Avenged album Life is But a Dream, I understand that, but I'm also biased because a few years prior, this is what Avenged Sevenfold was doing. Linoleum. This is dumb even by NOFX standards, and wow, that is saying a lot. Ice-T has always been able to add a level of intensity and presence in his music, whether it's body count or its guest features, but some tasks are too difficult and some songs are beyond saving no matter who is invited onto the track. 6 Feet Under's One Bullet Left was beyond saving even before Ice-T stepped in. It's unfortunate because I do feel it's something that could have paid off, but the contrast between Chris Barnes and Ice-T is drastic. It's not at all a fault of Ice-T, but rather the death bark of Barnes and the flat music and the song not being exciting. Why did Ice-T sign up for this one if he'd offered nothing? When Ice-T is trying to deliver lines and Barnes does the pig squeal, it all kind of unravels to the point of no return. There's a gunshot sound effect and the guitars just chug-a-chug the entire 3.5 minutes, then it wraps up with Cookie Monster wanting a cookie. I'm assuming. I can't make out what Barnes is singing by that point. I think that the only reason people gave this some respect and even a chance is because it was Ice-T. That's it. Time has not been kind to this collaboration and it doesn't offer more than the novelty of Ice-T performing with a menacing Barnes who does the exact same thing he does on every song, but he just looks worse by comparison to Ice-T.
The person that I used to be is just a memory.
I, for one, do not have a problem with Jelly Roll. I shot Jelly Roll live as a photographer when he was on tour with Shinedown. He has a solid voice and can pull off a lot of different styles. He's a workhorse, and you can tell his music is genuine. What's not genuine is Hollywood Undead's edgy woe is me, I had a tough upbringing cringe rap rock. Hollywood Undead has held onto that shtick for a long time, and when you have Jelly Roll, who also has seen some hard times in his life, you have House of Mirrors, where everyone is complaining about their past and problems, with some really bad bars and weak guitars and Jelly Roll standing out like a sore thumb. I remember hearing this song the week it came out and somehow it just hasn't aged any better. Shocker, I know. It's more of the same problems with Hollywood Undead, but 15 years after their breakout and the band is somehow dragging Jelly Roll down. I get there was instant appeal for a new collab, but not when you make the new big name waste his time, and that's what happened to Jelly Roll. Waste of time is absolutely a polite way to describe House of Mirrors and its deep, dark writing and emotional delivery. Hollywood Undead can give his emotional delivery as a block of wood, but Jelly Roll can emote and not be cringe. However, Block of Wood Undead can't really move past 2009, so that's not something Jelly Roll can help with. I am not against posthumous releases, and it can be a great way to tribute an artist with a final work. DMX had that with Five Finger Death Punch, releasing This Is the Way, featuring the late rapper. The problem is Five Finger Death Punch put in the same effort they always do, which is bare minimum, for a tribute to a musician that passed. Why do I think This Is the Way sucks? Several reasons. First, the track opens and starts like a lame 90s made-for-TV soundtrack. The drums and mixing suck. Second, Ivan Moody does nothing he hasn't done before with writing, just copy and paste material, while not giving a full vocal performance. He's not really getting out there using his projection. Third, this is the last song we know of that DMX will be a part of. Even knuckleheads, no, I still cannot get over that's what the fans call themselves, even they can't get too excited about something like this. It's phoned in from a band who literally phoned in verses and had it recorded. Somehow there was a short solo in the song that shows a pulse for a track, but that's gone quick enough. Still a corpse of a song. I'm also convinced that Ivan Moody and company, as they are ones to pander and capitalize on what's sensational and popular, named it This Is the Way just to cash in on Mandalorian popularity when the song was written. It's not about something meaningful or creative, it's about being associated with something good to get attention, just like almost every other Five Finger Death Punch collaboration. This is a bit of a cheat, but I don't care. When MTV started investing more into the reality era and the Osbournes won an Emmy, they really let Ozzy Osbourne do whatever he wanted. I mean anything. Even doing a full production Christmas special. So MTV brought in another reality star singer and had them sing Winter Wonderland together. It's as cheesy and forced as you would believe. Is this really a rock or metal song? No, but it's my list, and Ozzy definitely makes everything more metal. There will never be another like Ozzy Osbourne, and that is further proven with the Prince of Darkness belting out lyrics of Winter Wonderland at full volume to the point of tinnitus for everyone in that Winter Wonderland studio. Yeah, Jessica Simpson was absolutely positioned to be seen first and heard second, but Ozzy Osbourne is a legend. That could be handled well enough, right? The answer is no. It's ridiculous, and Jessica Simpson trying to keep up with Ozzy in her own way somehow makes it more hilarious because no one is keeping up with Ozzy while he's clearly out of his mind and screaming. When I pointed out this collaboration to my lovely wife, she asked, "Does Ozzy even remember doing this?" I don't have an answer for that, but I'm confident everyone at MTV Studios and the production team all remember being terrified of the new Blizzard of Oz that was Ozzy screaming Winter Wonderland like a tornado siren. He gets that loud. Sharon Osbourne even comes in to sing a bar. Yikes. Korn was on top of the world in 1998. Ice Cube was beyond a star in hip-hop and in the acting world. Nu metal was the bridge to connect the two sounds together, and Children of the Corn really was the long, rundown bridge to connect thick, chunky nu metal and rap without mixing it seamlessly, but rather just making it a big fat mess. One of Korn's most famous albums and a staple of nu metal in the late 90s has plenty of big hits and a lot of shameless regrets, including a song like this that ages worse as the years go on. It's not just the uncomfortable, edgy lyrics either. Okay, that's the worst part of it for sure, but there are more problems in a collaboration like this. The album recording sounds like Korn recorded the track and then it was shipped over to Ice Cube on the other side of the country to record over with different gear, and it all sounds terrible from a production level. Jonathan Davis and Ice are not seamless either, as it's clunky with the back and forth, especially when singing about this subject matter, like... Oh man, I'm not gonna even describe the subject matter, never mind. Not gonna try to quote some of the lyrics either. This song is definitely a product of its time, and why nu metal is sometimes seen as cringe metal when referring back to the underrated subgenre. Then again, this song makes nu metal as a whole seem worse instead of underrated, no matter who's involved. Emo Girl is the result of allowing Machine Gun Kelly to walk right into the pop-punk scene with open arms. Whether you like that first MGK album, Tickets to My Downfall, or not, the success from that pop-punk album emboldened him to pander harder and trick audiences, including the emo crowd, and Willow Smith somehow got tricked into it. Pandering is absolutely the right term to phrase this song. Machine Gun Kelly had the audience and age demographic under a chokehold and just distracted everyone from his actual age, and then started badly singing about emo girls. Then Willow came in and started singing about being an emo girl herself. Equally as unbelievable at some points. Not only is the music obnoxious and the vocals grating, but this is the type of song that corporate heads of Hot Topic would demand be played on a loop at every mall store. And then the poor college girl working at Hot Topic goes insane because she has to hear Emo Girl 19 times a day while folding unsold Machine Gun Kelly t-shirts because the pop punk and emo crowd don't want him anymore. It does feel like Coulson sat in a boardroom with Hot Topic reps trying to plot out and calculate a track to sell merch based off a hook and a demographic, not something meaningful or even representing MGK. This song came roughly at the tail end of pandemic, and all of the things we can hopefully leave behind from that period, this song should absolutely be one of them. There is a massive amount of hype for Hardy over the last 2 years. The cross-genre appeal is a big deal from the business and marketing perspective. I understand how it can draw fans. What I don't understand is how people think Radio Song with Jeremy from A Day to Remember is creative or original. Or good. This is cheese, not the good cheese you can laugh at either. This is stank cheese with mold all over it. The anti-radio song and anti-music industry idea has been done 1,000 times and much better than whatever Hardy and McKinnon made. On top of that, Hardy sounds like he's faking every word because he's in deep with the music industry. So much of this is ham-fisted and phony. Even Jeremy's screaming doesn't add anything. It's a collaboration for the sake of getting name value to help show off how well connected Hardy is in the industry. Not to mention mediocre at guitar and a doofus when the song is performed live. Seriously, this isn't even divorced dad rock, it's doofus rock. This song goes through the tropes of what radio and the industry looks for and actively mocks it, while being a radio format song and being pushed as a single for the radio. Do you see how Hardy is trying to play the system not with the songwriting and quality, but just through straight gimmick and shamelessness? Many more of these collaborations are coming from Hardy because, again, it's not about song quality or sincerity, it's about schmoozing with other names and proving you're a big deal. Just don't listen too close to the lyrics or music and stay drunk at the shows. Hardy wins every time, with or without a terrible radio song. I do think collaborations are a good idea in general, but when you can tell the reason for a collaboration is just for money or get fans in the industry to buy in for the sake of name value, the music then comes second, or in the case of whatever Hardy is doing, third or dead last. There are many more bad collaborations out there in heavy music. Leave a comment if you know of one worth pointing out. Again, you can check out the previous video for the worst collabs and what I feel are some good collaborations in the video's description. And if you watched to this point, leave the word super collab in the comment. I'll heart it and try to reply.